Massive opportunity missed for Blackburn Rovers this past weekend as we dropped 2 points to them knobbers down the road. That's right, Preston, 0-0 at Deepdale. We'll talk about the red mist. All about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today, it's all about looking back in the shambles. That was the 0-0 draw at Deepdale. That's right, Rovers couldn't budge 10 men, but neither could Preston, as both sides lost a man in a chaotic 90 minutes. We'll talk about that and more in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe and you want to stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship Football, World Football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right. All square in the end at Deepdale to continue an unbeaten start to 2024-25. But what was the talk of the town? Well, we'll tell you in a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. And a big shout out to the members. You know who you are. Dan Peters, Stephen Bradley, and the other new guy. We have 3 new members. You guys are fantastic. You are absolutely fantastic. And you are members before the amazing breaking news, which will be released within the next 24 hours. So make sure you check out the breaking news. But until then, let's take a deep dive into the match over at Deepdale. All right then, folks, it ended up 0-0 over at Deepdale with main talking points being the red cards. That's right, for both players. Preston had Sam Greenwood sent off for a karate kick tackle on Lewis Baker, which I believe may have had a part to play in his early substitution in the second half. But Preston went into the dugout with 10 men, Rovers with the advantage. You thought game on, that's right. You thought Rovers would have it in their locker to get 3 points here, but we couldn't break the man down. In fact, we were probably our most toothless display so far this season. We did have more possession, but that was at the end of the game, at the end of the 90, but that wasn't always the case. Preston seemed to have the upper hand for the vast majority of the game, so we've got to give them credit for that. It was looking very dire, the game, very much of a chess match. I don't really want to use that too much as an excuse, but despite that sending off, Rovers had the best of chances within the first 60-odd minutes. Tyree Stolen hit the woodwork to narrowly miss out on opening in the score sheet. But that was our only realistic effort for the match. As you can see, there's 7 shots compared to the 6. We had AC Pairs to thank big time. 5 mega saves for him throughout the match. Just 3 for Woodman, who I do rate him as a good keeper, but he had an easy ride today, as Ohashi and the rest of the chasing pack never really troubled him. Maybe a bit of a reality check for Rovers, but we can come out of this with a little bit of a saving grace, and that saving grace being clean sheet, added another point to the bag, and an unbeaten start to the season now to stretch to 6 games with 3 wins and 3 draws. But we still are missing that illustrious first away win of the season, with focus now switching back to Ewood for next weekend's action. So not great. Let's take a little look then at some of the key statisticians and the stats and figures for the game, including the shots. The shot grid right here, of course, as you can see, we are represented by the blue, and yeah, very much long-range efforts, to be fair, for of our 6 shots outside the box, 2 inside the box. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. There it is, right there. 4 from outside, 2 with inside. Preston did pepper us a little bit, preferring the right-hand side to the left. And the key man for Rovers being Tronstad, 2 efforts from him. Baker, Dolan, Hedges, and Makta Gay all having an effort. Nothing from Ohashi, nothing from Wyman. Pretty much a frustrating afternoon in the attacking department from Rovers. As for Preston, their best opportunities come from Potts there. A couple of opportunities, Whiteman as well. Lindsay and Hughes went close as well. Dwayne Holmes with one of the efforts from the bench. So realistically, pretty grim stuff across the board from Rovers, and very much damp display by Preston off end. But it's the point in the bag is a massive point against a team that we often find ourselves struggling to get anything out of it. So let's point that point to the bag and move on. And let's not look too disheartened into it. But let's, of course, return back to the glaring stat here, which was, of course, the double red card, one for Greenwood and one for Owen Beck. Now, Owen's Beck red card was towards the end of the game, and there was a bit of a scuffle going on, and there may have, in fact, there probably was some biting. I'm not talking about Owen Beck. I'm talking about Luis Suarez, a.k.a. Osamnovich, with the teeth. Putting some teeth into the back of Owen Beck, which may or may not have instigated any of the red card. I don't know if so I've not seen it played back. I don't know if the red card for Beck was after the bite or if it was before the bite. Now, if it was before the bite, I looked at the challenge. I don't think it was that much, and I am hopeful that it doesn't become a 3-game ban and et cetera, et cetera. Maybe they'll relook at it and decide that it was maybe a yellow card. But so the jury is out on that one. But regardless, so the unbeaten start continues, as Andreas Wyman has said. But yeah, it's not great for Rovers at all, to be fair. If we have a look at the starting 11s then for this match, of course, we'll run over to that right now. We'll go back into it. There we are, starting 11s. Start with the host. We had Woodman between the sticks. You had Hughes, Lindsay, Story and Brad Potts. I believe there's a makeshift back four. Then they had McCann and Whiteman in the double pivot. Then we had Bowler, Greenwood and Mads Franskjær Jensen. Pretty dull, to be honest with you. I don't think they created anything. And Reece Jacobson was sacrificed in the second half to compensate the man advantage. As for Rovers, Ainsley Pears with a whopping 8.2 on his ratings there, with Beck with a 6.4, Carter with a 6.9. I thought he was good, but an early yellow card which kind of nullified his game. Danny Bath, Dominic Heim was solid at the back. Travis was constantly involved as well. Tronstad as well, breaking up play. Hedges, Dolan I thought was a little toothless today against his old boys. Lewis Baker, again, sacrificed at halftime, maybe to go for it, or maybe there was an injury. And Yuki Hashi, not the best of days for him. As you see on the bottom, Preston up the average here with a 6.92 on display compared to the 6.86 for Rovers at the end of it. Sticking with the heat maps then, shall we? Preston's heat maps look like this, preferring the right-hand side to the left when in attack. As for Rovers, they prefer the right to the left. So there was a plan in place from both sides. It looks like they both opted for their own right-hand side when in attack. But Rovers, a lot of possession in that defensive area, which is, of course, not what we want to see. Regardless of all that, it's just been not a great performance in the end, and it is a bit of a reality check for Rovers coming into this one. What about the fans? What do they think about the reaction and the result? Well, let's have a little look at them on Twitter. Alrighty then, let's have a quick look on Twitter then, shall we? Carwick said, bad day at the office for the majority of the team. As much as we compliment Eustace's tactics today, he got it wrong. Long ball from the begging with no players over 5 foot up front to pass it to. Even against 10 men, Preston looked most likely to score. Still, we take a point. Unlucky guys, hard to win when the other team has a dog up front. Look at it. There it is. Goodness gracious me. Shocking stuff. Bloody hell, he's still picking bits of Owen Beck out of his teeth now, I would imagine. Anyway, James Marsh, that was an awful viewing. No complaints about both Reds. Still unbeaten. Osmajic, a dirty bastard. Simon Woodford's 2 points dropped, but still unbeaten and another clean sheet. Tommy says, missed opportunities. Should have made more of that. Had to hold on at the end. A few too many of them. Never really got going. Can't fault JE. Made the necessary changes to win the game. Lacked quality. Disappointing in the end, but another point on the road. We go again. Not your business, say. That was absolutely dreadful. Can't believe I watched that. Preston was better with 10 men against our 11. Still a point away for a fixture and only 39 points to safety. Still unbeaten, I guess. We are the Rovers, a.k.a. Mr. Mack. Is it Lee Mack? Well, we don't know. Refereeing was absolute bloody dreadful today. Got to be said that his management of the game was beyond dire at a level rarely seen, even at this level of turgid officiating. Poor from Rovers too. Never looked like scoring in truth. Miggs, he said, ruined by the ref again, but a fair result to be fair. Tough game next week. Come on, you Blues. Rover 57 said, not the best performance from Rovers, spoiled by poor card happy ref. The EFL needs to look at the bite on Asmicic on Beck. He should be banned for the rest of the season for disgusting behaviour. That's, of course, the take from social media. But, of course, it's just their opinion, not mine. Meanwhile, what's going on elsewhere over in the Championship this weekend? Busy weekend it was. There always are. Of course, early game on Friday was the 3-1 win for Hull on the road. First win in the bag for Timmy Walter, Stoke City's new coach, opening up with a defeat. Could not be separated. QPR and Millwall 1-1 in the end. That was on Saturday. Of course, Sunderland back to winning ways with the 1-0 win over Borough. Norwich put 4 past Watford. The Blades beat Derby County 1-0. Burnley left it late, but they did beat Pompey. Luton Town also turned it around against Danny Rolls at Sheffield Wednesday. Cardiff, I believe, breaking news. I don't know. I've not seen it confirmed, but I believe Bullet is gone. He lost, of course. They lost to Leeds. West Brom beat Plymouth Argyle. Bristol City 2-1 winners over Oxford United in the Liam Manning derby. And then Swansea beat Coventry. They're under pressure now. And, of course, the Nobbers and Rovers could not be separated. But the table looks like this, my friends. It is West Brom. It is Sunderland. They're going up as it stands. Burnley, Rovers could meet at the stage right now in the playoffs. The Blades and Leeds make up a very spicy Yorkshire-Lancashire feel in the playoffs. Going down as it stands, Cardiff, Pompey, and the Wednesday. That's, of course, the situation in the table right here, right now. Next week, it all kicks off once again with the early game on the Friday game, Plymouth against Luton. Oh, how are we? Well, then some early games include Derby against Norwich. We have Sheffield Wednesday against West Brom. All eyes, though, will be at Ewood Park as Rovers take on QPR. The 3 o'clock kickoffs see Borough against Stoke, Hull against now managerless Cardiff, Watford against Sunderland, Millwall against Preston, Pompey up against Sheffield United, Oxford against Burnley, Leeds up against Coventry, and Swansea up against Bristol City. We'll hope to have deep and dark coverage on those games, or at least the Rovers game anyway, against QPR next week. Hope to have a QPR fan, hope to have my own preview out there as well, and a watch along. I'll be back in the hot seat once again. I do appreciate the loving. And again, stand by for breaking news on the channel. Within 24 hours, you'll be able to be a part of it. So don't forget to smash the like, subscribe, become a member if you like. Be there before the party. That's it. Until then, we are done.